Okay, I guess we're live. I hope we're live. I know that in my tests there was a bit of lag time before it started to record or actually broadcast, so I trust you can hear me now. I'd like to say hello and welcome to all the One Small Town members, all the One Small Town supporters around the world, and welcome to the very first One Small Town podcast with me, Michael Tellinger. This is a very important moment in my life, very important moment in the evolution of the One Small Town initiative as the lights start to flicker. So this is the first live podcast we're doing. So let me explain to you what we're doing here. We got three cameras going. We got my cell phone, which is doing Facebook. So hello and welcome to everybody on Facebook. And please engage and send messages and let me know that you're there on Facebook. This is the camera for YouTube, and I've done everything I can or I could to increase the speed, the Wi-Fi speed, because where we are in the country, it's impossible to get high-speed internet. So we're trying this, sorry, while I'm talking to you, the lights have literally, as I went live, the lights started to do something weird. They're literally flickering in my face. Right, and then thirdly, this is not how I intended to start this, but that's what happens when you go live. Thirdly, we got a camera over there right in front of me, which is filming this with a camera as a backup, because I don't know what quality this is going to be, and we're going to probably and possibly use the camera recording and the backup as the version that goes out, the high quality version that goes out. So I can see some people are logging in on Facebook and also on Facebook and on YouTube. So hello and welcome everybody. Let me explain to you now what we're going to do in this very first podcast of One Small Town. So this is really an introduction of One Small Town to people that are new to One Small Town, to people that have been members for a long time, and I guess a reintroduction and a familiarization about what One Small Town is, how it works, what we're doing with it, where are we with it, what is possible, how to get involved, and everything. So what I need to first of all say, what I'd like to cover is, why are we doing a podcast? Why did I decide to do a podcast? Well, it's very clear and very obvious that podcasts have unquestionably become one of the most favorite mediums and favorite way of getting information across, for people to be interviewed, for people to get their ideas across, and so forth. And you look at the popularity of some of the biggest names in the podcast world, and you can see how important this kind of communication and a way of interacting with your audience and with your members and followers and supporters, how important this is. So this is very important for One Small Town and myself to start this kind of a regular weekly contact and interaction with our members, our supporters, and newcomers, people that want to know more about One Small Town, how to get involved, and those that are eager to get involved and want to know what to do. So we're going to be covering a lot of ground here. Everything is on the table. We're going to take questions from people. I can see that the people are joining in very nicely now. Lots of names coming up. That's great to see. So in this first podcast, I'm not going to take questions off the internet. I'm not going to take questions off here. I will just interact and say hello to people. And I can see a bunch of people here. My eyes, unfortunately, I think might not be able to read the names from this distance. So if you see me put on my glasses every now and then, that's because I need to read something off the screen. Right. Yeah, very exciting to see so many people joining us. And once this is finished, we will then upload a version on across all the mediums, probably the camera version. So this podcast is going to be a regular event to really deal with updates, with news, with all the developments with One Small Town around the world, for the simple reason that there's so much going on that it really defeats the purpose of me doing the odd, 3-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute video update and the news and then putting it out there. It's going to serve us a lot better if we have a regular standing meeting every week on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Johannesburg time, 1 p.m. London time, and what I now realize 8 a.m. New York time. I just realized earlier today that New York is actually 7 hours behind us and not 6 hours. There must have been a time change. So I'm very excited about the way the world has shifted today. I must say, a big relief. I'm not going to get political in this because we want to keep politics out of this, but we will, however, discuss the influence of politics on One Small Town and how we use politics to evolve and grow One Small Town. How we use what we learn in politics to make One Small Town better, to help us grow, and to use politics as a tool to help the One Small Town initiative and help us in our communities and help us to grow One Small Town and make it a success. So the regular updates, very important. A weekly podcast, I believe, is the best way to go from now on. And that'll also give us a long track record of episode after episode. That's what I was looking for in this first episode of this podcast. So, and it's all about inspiration, motivation, sharing of information, and also guidelines, helping people that want to get involved. And the reason I say this is because every day I get dozens and dozens of emails and hundreds of emails every month from people all over the world. And when I say all over the world, I mean from China and Japan and France and Italy and Germany and Mexico and South American countries and Spain, Australia, everywhere, every country you can think of. I get emails from people and say, I love what you're doing. How can I get involved? What can I do? And the standard answer is always, please go to the website and read the website. First, read the website as detailed as you can. Read as much as you can. Inform yourself as much as you can. We've tried, and I've tried so hard to get as much information onto the website so that by the time you finish reading the website and watching some of the videos, you'll have a much better idea of what we do, how we do it, and how you can get involved. But I'm going to cover that in more detail here in any case. So the podcasts here are also to guide people and help people to get involved. And the main reason is that we've learned so much and we've evolved so much over the last 15 years. You can just imagine what this idea was. It's more like, it's almost 20 years ago, but in essence, more like 15 years ago when the Ubuntu movement that then became the One Small Town movement, when that started to grow. And then by 2016, when we officially became the One Small Town movement and focused on that just on its own. Now, you might hear some dogs barking in the background. Yes, those are my dogs running around the garden, barking at passers-by, or mostly other dogs as well when they run up and down the street. So just enjoy the dog sounds in the background. We're going to try and keep them as quiet as we can, but they just love barking at people walking past and at other dogs, especially other dogs. I'm sure that dog owners will understand what I mean. So sharing of information. So the motivation for people for One Small Town. Because what we're doing is so new, it is so unique, it is so completely upside down and so different to anything that's going on in the world. It takes people some time to really wrap their head around it. Everything we do with One Small Town is sort of counterintuitive to the entire capitalist social structure. Although it still is there for success and in the early stages to make profits and be successful and so forth. But I'll deal with a lot of these things because I don't want you to get confused and think that we're all about, it's all about making profits and things like that. Yes, it's critical that we're going to make profits with our businesses, but that's a stepping stone to many more exciting things and much bigger things and much bigger achievements that we want to achieve with One Small Town. So sharing information, there is so much information that needs to be shared. We have so many incredible minds and inventors that have joined One Small Town and that want to join One Small Town, people that want to share their inventions with us. And we're currently dealing with at least 3 inventors and potentially 5 different technologies that are game-changing technologies. And I will talk more about that a little bit further in this first episode, in this introductory episode. So we're dealing with some spectacular, game-changing, interventive technologies. And this is critical. And just, for example, how to work with inventors, how to bring them in to the One Small Town initiative so that their lives are protected, they maximize their potential income from the inventions, that the inventions and their IP doesn't get stolen, and so forth. There is so much going on that this podcast is so critical, that we have this platform to go through all of this. And the sharing of information, that's really what the subject I was talking about. It's very important for us to make inventors feel comfortable and know that when they do join One Small Town, it is like coming home. It's literally like meeting your family that you know is going to help you and protect your IP, that'll protect your inventions, that'll maximize your earnings and your family's and your children's earnings even after you die, because you have vested it in with the One Small Town initiative. You never ever have to give up your IP, but what you do is you join the One Small Town initiative so that your inventions and technology, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's healthcare or energy or everything else that we're dealing with, water technology, desalination and so forth, that is left to the One Small Town community around the world and benefits the people of the world and not corporations and not governments. Very important. So guidance is so important. There are, like I said, what really breaks my heart is the hundreds and hundreds of emails I get from people that are just lost. They are so depressed. They feel so demotivated. It's like they've lost their lust for life. It's like their spirit has been ripped out of their body because people have just been so beaten by the system. And suddenly they discover the One Small Town initiative and they feel like they found something that can help save them. And I do believe we have saved thousands and thousands of people from doing terrible things. Don't even want to go there, but that we've given thousands of people new hope. Let's put it that way. We've given thousands, it could be many more people over, 20-year period. You can imagine how many people have found One Small Town as a new shining light and a beacon of hope, knowing that there's a movement, that there's another group of people that think like they do, that they're not alone, that there is hope. And this is ultimately what we're doing here and what we're going to convey every week in this podcast. Very important that we constantly keep the hope going, keep inspiring, keep motivating people, making them realize that in the One Small Town movement, all your dreams can become a reality. Because the One Small Town initiative, the home, once everything gets going and we have successful small towns that have actually launched and are doing this, and we're very, very close. We are so very, very close. And I'll explain to you why I say this and why I can be so confident about it. Once we launch, every idea that you have as an individual or a business person, whether you want to get involved in horse breeding, or whether you want to start a brick factory, or if you have developed a special way to create motorcycle covers, or making new pots or laptops or a new health product, or whatever it is, in every industry. If you've discovered a new way of growing food, if you've discovered a new way of anything, the One Small Town initiative will allow you to create a business plan, and your members and partners in your community, the people of your community, will help you. We'll find the right people to write your business plans, put a proper business plan together and a strategy, and we'll help fund that. We will help you fund your business and your dreams and make it a reality. If it is something that'll not only benefit you, but it'll benefit the entire community and bring prosperity and abundance to your community. So, in essence, what happens with the One Small Town initiative, if you don't know this yet, everybody wins every step along the way. Nobody ever gets left behind. Nobody gets disenfranchised. Nobody loses anything. It's a voluntary system. You join if you want to. No one is forced to join. And that's a very important thing that we need to share. We need to make people understand. No one is ever forced to join the One Small Town initiative. But when you do join, everything becomes possible, and everyone is always welcomed and invited to join. But when you join, you have to deliver on a few basic principle things. Now, if you're brand new to One Small Town, if you don't know how it works, the fundamental thing of One Small Town is that we decide and we choose to cooperate and collaborate as a community, as the people of a small town. We choose to cooperate and collaborate to start upliftment projects, upliftment programs in our community, to fix the roads, fix the parks, help the orphanages, help the old age homes, create community kitchens, do all the things that our governments and our municipalities are supposed to do, but they don't do that. Because you know why? Because most of the time these days somebody runs off with the money just disappears. There's never enough budget. It's always a money thing. Well, we can choose to do it ourselves. And once we choose to do it, we can do it because we love to do it and we want to make our town a better place. So it's the community projects that are so critical. In the early days of One Small Town, the community upliftment programs, because that really shows the coming together and the unity of the spirit of the people, choosing to cooperate, choosing to collaborate. And I can tell you, I speak from experience when I say this. When I launched it here in my little town of Waterval-Boven, Mpumalanga, South Africa, in 2013 and 2014, and I ran it for about a year and a half, 2 years before I ran out of money. In those days, I was using my own money with a little bit of help, a little bit of funding here and there. I was raising money wherever I could, and we launched it. And we literally launched it by fixing up the town hall and fixing up the sports fields and organizing sports tournaments and soccer tournaments and netball and volleyball and so forth. The excitement of the people when they used to come in the mornings to the town hall and say, "What can I do? I want to be involved. What do you want me to do?" You could just see it in their eyes. You could see that they found something that they felt they belonged to. They just wanted to be part of this project, of this initiative. We didn't promise them money. We didn't promise them shareholding in any businesses or any companies. We promised them nothing. We just promised them a plate of food if they contributed their 2 hours or 3 hours. In those days, it was just 2 hours. If they contributed their 2 hours towards helping us work on the hall, fixing the floors and the toilets and the stage and the lights and the PA system and the electricity and the water supply and the gardens outside and everything that was broken with it, that was destroyed by the municipality. The joy and excitement that you could see in the people's eyes, because they suddenly had a goal. They had a purpose in the morning when they woke up. First of all, they don't have a job. A lot of these people didn't have jobs. They didn't have anywhere to go, anything to do. And suddenly this gave them a purpose and a reason to get out of bed in the morning. So I know I'm going to digress as we go through this, because There is so much information and so much experience that I bring to the table, having done this for nearly 2 decades now. It's very difficult to convey this knowledge and this information and the excitement in an interview or in one little update video or something like that. It's very important that we go through this, and every time we do another episode of this podcast, I will share more knowledge, more excitement, more guidance. I will invite others to share their knowledge and information. We will answer questions that we will get from you, the audience, the members, and the One Small Town supporters, and so forth. So I know I digressed a bit, but the solutions and the guidance is so important. And what this does, what the One Small Town initiative does, the moment you launch this in your community, you will see that you can come up with any ideas, any business ideas that you think will be great to, first of all, make a good profit, and that'll help your community. The profits go back to your community, whether it's businesses in the agriculture industry, and we'll talk in more detail about the ideas and the things that we are focusing on in the early days of One Small Town. I'll touch upon that in much more detail. Agriculture must be and always is one of the first things that we focus on, because we need to create food security. We need to create seed banks. We need to use our seed treatment technology, which some of you may be aware of, that we have very advanced and unique seed treatment technology that will give us our own seeds with our own genetics that we register as our own seeds, so that the big guys like Monsanto and so forth can't steal those seeds from us. We need to protect everything that we create. Remember, and we often forget this, freedom and prosperity needs to be protected. And if you allow infiltrators to infiltrate your organization and destroy you, divide you, destroy you, undermine you, undermine your initiative, you will lose your initiative. And boy, can I talk for hours and days about the many infiltrations and the many infiltrators that have come into the Ubuntu movement and since 2016, the One Small Town initiative. They come as your friends, and you let them in, you start sharing deep secrets with them and plans and ideas, and before you know, they start stabbing you in the back and start spreading horrible things about you. And you may find some of those horrible things about me on the internet. When you do see that, you must know that it is one of those people that I've let in to my close circle of friends and what I believe to be supporters, and then they just turn on you because they believe that they can just do what they want, and if it's not their way, then suddenly you're their enemy. And it's a very interesting thing. We'll go into that in more detail, how something like that can happen literally overnight. And before you know it, you're out there trying to defend yourself against people that are spreading all kinds of interesting stories about you. So, sharing of knowledge and information, guidance, problem solving, and solutions. The most important thing about One Small Town, think about this. We have already, with the One Small Town initiative, solved pretty much all the problems we face in the world. And if you hear this for the first time, you're probably going to go, "Oh my God, what an arrogant prick! What kind of an arrogant asshole is this guy? How can he say we've solved almost all the problems we face as humanity?" It's because I've been doing this for so long, and I've been doing workshops in more than 400 cities of the world, more than 35 countries of the world, for the last 12 years, and we have gone through question after question, workshop after workshop, where we go through potential questions. Well, what about this? How do we do that? So who's going to shovel the crap? Why would I do this? Why would I want to do that? And et cetera, et cetera. We've gone through thousands and thousands of questions and found solutions for them. Not because I'm clever, not because I'm smart, because the solutions come from the One Small Town initiative. The initiative actually provides you with the solutions. And that's the most exciting thing that I found, is the moment you have a question, how is this going to work? How is that going to work? Just put that question into the environment of the One Small Town initiative, where the community works together and the community comes up with solutions that are the best solution for the community. Not a best solution for a corporation, or best solution for a government, or best solution for an investor, the best solution for the community. You will see very quickly how quickly you solve every problem you face. And I must tell you, that is for me one of the most exciting things that I've experienced on this journey of developing and evolving one small town. So sharing, problem solving and finding new solutions, new ideas. And the other thing that I need to bring up at this stage is keep in mind that what we are doing has never been done before. And this has been one of the biggest, challenges is the right word, and obstacles and teachers, because what we are doing has never been done before. I get this all the time. People email me and say, wow, I've just seen your website. I love what you're doing. I'm doing something similar. And then they tell me about what they're doing. And this is with no disrespect to anybody. There are thousands of people doing incredible things. There are thousands of charities, initiative and community development programs and so forth. And they're all doing amazing things, and they need to continue doing amazing things. But there is no other movement or initiative that has taken community development and put it together into this integrated plan that we have over such an extended period of time. And the reason I can say it is because it's taken us such a long time. And through our various experiences, starting in 2014, literally, when we still got involved in politics, 2014, thinking we could inject a seed of consciousness into the political beast. And then again in 2016, and if you don't know this, remember that the Ubuntu Party, before we became one small town, the Ubuntu Party in South Africa, in Australia, in Canada, in the UK, and almost in the USA, ran in several elections. And that's where I learned all about politics. And that's why I can speak about politics with some experience, because I've gone through it in 3 elections in South Africa. And it was really by 2016 that I realized that you cannot inject a seed of consciousness into the political beast. And we're going to talk a lot more about politics in these podcasts. So I don't want to spend too much time on one subject at this stage. I want to try and get through my list of what I wanted to discuss and bring up in this introductory episode. But politics is a very important part of why we're doing One Small Town. Because politics is not a solution. Politics will never solve any of our problems. Politics by nature is a divisive tool and a divisive instrument. The moment you start a political party, you have automatically become an opposition to all the other political parties. Okay, we've seen what happened in the USA today. We've seen what happened in the USA over the last 4 years. We've seen what happened in South Africa over the last 30 years. And we've seen how political parties and the opposition of political parties rip communities apart, rip marriages apart, rip friendships apart, rip everything apart. It destroys everything. Politics, in essence, ultimately, is not a solution. It is a constant divisive tool. So we're going to talk about that and how we're going to use politics in One Small Town to help us and find solutions and overcome the problems. And this is the beauty about having done this for so long now. And the fact that we are at this point now where we have so many tools at our disposal, so many amazing members, so many amazing people with knowledge and professors and experts in everything from healthcare to agriculture to agricultural, nutrition and so forth. Where are we? Why the podcast? So I'm going through my list here, and I've now sort of covered why we're doing the podcast. I trust that you understand now why I've chosen to do the podcast. And then the next thing is really, why One Small Town? Why did One Small Town get created? Why was it launched? And that's a very interesting question, because you can go into many different areas. You can go into, pragmatic areas of economy, of the world is screwed, the world is messed up. Very few people in the world are happy with their lives, with the way the world is going. Very few people are happy with what the governments are doing in their countries, how they're creating more regulations, more red tape, more bureaucracy, shutting down farms, poisoning our food, allowing greedy corporations to do things that we would never agree to, and so much, and so on and so on. So clearly, very few people in the world are happy with the way the world is going. And let me give you a little anecdote here. I've been doing these lectures and these workshops with One Small Town since basically 2007. As I said in the beginning, it was called the Ubuntu Movement, and then by 2013, 2014, I started to talk about One Small Town. In fact, I think as far back as 2012, in Holland, when I did my sort of well-known lecture at the New Energy, what is it called again? The New Energy Movement or conference. That's where I think probably I quoted the One Small Town initiative the first time, or the name One Small Town, when I ended there saying that we need to find a new system. We need to create a new social structure. And I believe I ended there by saying it all begins with one small town. And that's where the whole idea was born of One Small Town. So, and I lost my train of thought completely now. Why are we doing it? Oh yeah, I was trying to explain to you anecdotally why I'm so confident that very few people are happy with the way the world is going. So I would often start my lectures or workshops by saying, just asking everybody in the audience, how many of us here, by show of hands, how many of us here are happy with the way the world is going? Put up your hand. And the largest audience actually was I think it was in 2013 or 2014. It was in Germany. It was at Erich von Daniken's 80th birthday. I was invited to come and talk there and do a lecture. And I did the same thing. There must have been about 3,000 people, or maybe more, in that huge hall in Germany. And I did the same thing. I asked, how many of us here today are happy with the way the world is going? Happy with how governments are handling our lives, the situation, and the laws they're making, and so forth. And not one person put up their hand. In all these years that I've been doing these lectures and asking that same question, and I'm telling you this with absolute integrity and truth from my heart, not one person has ever put up their hand to say they are happy with the way the world is going. And that clearly is an indication that there's something wrong with this world and that we need to do something about it. And that really became a hugely motivating factor to drive the One Small Town initiative. Keep going, don't give up, because you can imagine there have been many times, many days, many weeks, many months that I just wanted to give up. But we didn't. I didn't. I always found that extra breath or some support from someone just when I needed it. And I must say that over the years, I'm incredibly grateful to the thousands of people that have supported me on this journey, on this path, because it has not been evil. It has not been easy. It has been very difficult. Sometimes so difficult that I didn't know how I was going to pay the bills at the end of the month and still keep going. And this has been going on for a long, long time. Just in case you think that the One Small Town initiative is well funded, we're not well funded. We literally exist month to month because we exist at the moment from the kind and generous donations from our patrons and from some of the infinity tokens that are the what you call them, the funding capital, the seed capital that we launched to help the One Small Town initiative going. So it's growing beautifully, but I'll explain in more detail exactly how that all works and how that's going to become our saving grace. Not the One Small Town management or office. I don't want to use the word management. When I say management, it's not managing One Small Towns around the world. It's just managing our office, managing the admin and what we do. Just understand the One Small Town initiative is a bottom-up initiative. It's not a top-down. We don't manage anything from the top. The people in the communities run their own show. They decide what they do. And if the one small town, if the one small towns are not successful, if the towns themselves don't make money and they don't succeed, or they don't work in unity and they don't collaborate and cooperate, then we can't succeed and we can't survive as the one small town head office. Okay, in case you're a little bit confused about that. So it is probably one of the only initiatives around the world that's a bottom-up approach. Right, so we constantly need funding to keep our office going, so we can keep promoting one small town, so that the people can start it and become successful in their towns and communities. That's pretty much what happens ultimately. So very few people in the world are happy with the way the world is going, and that really has been the fundamental driving force to keep going and make it work. So the current situation is that people are looking for solutions. And I must say that there are hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of people trying to find different ways of alleviating the problem. And one of the most common ways that people trying to get out of the system and just feel some sense of freedom and a sense of not being bound and restricted by the laws and regulations of governments and municipalities and provinces and states and so forth. One of the most common things that people do, groups of people do, is they start putting together what is referred to often as intentional communities. And I've, I guess, been fortunate to have met many intentional community leaders and people that have started intentional communities. And this is why I know how difficult it is for intentional communities to start. They are, in fact, I can tell you right now, and you might have your own experiences with it, everybody that I've spoken to that I know that have started intentional communities has lost a huge amount of money, and has often lost their property, lost their farms, lost the land upon which these intentional communities were started, because it all starts with great excitement, with great enthusiasm, and very quickly descends into arguing and bickering about this and about that. And before you know, it could run smoothly for 12 months or 2 years, and people tolerate each other, they're all very excited, it's all new. But most of the time, it always deteriorates into a bun fight. People start to arguing and stabbing each other in the back. The moment it becomes about money or sharing the money, and when the profits start coming in, these intentional communities fall apart. There have been one or two, and I can really think of only one right now, but I'm sure I probably met somebody along the line, but I can clearly only think about one person that started an intentional community that was still running it at the time. And I'm going back now to about 2016, 2017, around there in the USA. Somebody that I met that started an intentional community that was running and it was surviving, but it was a real struggle. And the poor guy was just telling me how he wished he could just stop and just walk away from it. But unfortunately, he could not, because he was the glue that held it all together. And if he decided to give up and walk away, the entire intentional community would collapse, and all those people would be left high and dry without his guidance, leadership, and whatever it was. So intentional communities are, people believe and they often think that it's a solution, but they are not. And one quick way of determining whether intentional communities, and by that I mean people deciding to come together, they either buy a piece of land, or they take over a little deserted town or a village, or somebody has a farm and they decide to use that farm, and they start building houses, and they decide they're going to all live together like a commune, and they decide they're going to start growing food and doing all kinds of things. And it often starts out beautifully, and it really works so well for the first while, and because everyone's excited, motivated, they're driven by the enthusiasm for this new belief that they're doing something that's going to save them from the miserable world that they have to face every day. But very quickly it deteriorates. So now I lost my train of thought again. What was I talking about? Intentional communities. So what One Small Town has done, I have spent nearly 2 decades looking at intentional communities and where they have gone wrong. And I'm talking even about the kibbutzes. The kibbutzes in Israel, for many years, I had many friends that used to go and work in the kibbutz and spend a year there or 2 years working on the kibbutzes. And in fact, it often became, the Israeli kibbutzes became a refuge for a lot of people that were looking for an escape. Same thing, people that just wanted to get away from the mad and crazy world, because suddenly they felt they could go there, live on the kibbutz, go and contribute their time and get fed and get everything they needed and have a place to live. All they had to do is work in the kibbutz, do what they're told to do. But even that ran out of steam and ran out of energy. And the big question is why? And the big question always comes back to, because if it doesn't benefit the entire community, sooner or later you're going to start getting dissent, and you're going to start getting people standing up and say, hold on, I'm not going to work like a slave for you while you benefit from it. Because what I discovered is that the kibbutzes ultimately ended up being bought and became almost like private businesses. And all the people and the volunteers in the kibbutzes just became cheap labor. Now, that's exactly what One Small Town is not. Keep in mind, we're doing something that's never been done before. And I just got back to my train of thought, just to come back onto that track. We're doing something that's never been done before, and this is why it's taken so bloody long. 10 years ago, I thought, this is going to happen like this because it's simple. I did it. I launched One Small Town here in my town. I got people come working for free, not for free. Let me not use that word. I got people to join, enthusiastic, knowing, thinking, and believing that they're contributing something to their own community, that they're helping to clean up the town, fix the town hall, fix the sports fields, getting the community involved in sports, arts, culture, recreation, help the tourism sites, etc., etc. People suddenly had a purpose. I launched that within a matter of weeks, and it grew like crazy. So I thought that, wow, if I can do this in my town with very little money, everyone else should be able to do this. And this is just going to go like crazy. Well, I was wrong. I was totally and utterly wrong. Because clearly, we have missed the boat somewhere in our various launches of One Small Town. And where we missed the boat is one of the reasons why we have to do this podcast, why we have to bring people in, share knowledge and information with them, guide them in, explain to them that this is not something that's going to happen overnight. We're doing something that's so unique and so different and so new. It takes a while for some people to compute this and literally turn their capitalist mind around. We're doing this for the benefit of the entire community and each and every individual in that community. We're not doing this for the benefit of shareholders and greedy corporations or governments. We're doing this for ourselves and investors into those businesses. When we choose those investors ourselves, and again, that's another important point. Remember, our investors are not going to invest. We're not going to accept investors just because they want to invest into our businesses in our towns. We will choose which investors we want to work with. I will talk about the investment system that we've set up with One Small Town, how it works and how it can benefit, how we'll find and help raise funds for every business that you decide to do and launch in your community. So one of the incredible tools that we've developed, and I'm going to get onto the tools now, is a funding mechanism so that you in your town and your members in your town, the One Small Town members, can help raise funds for your businesses that you choose to launch. And it's a very, very exciting very recent new development that we found and we're using and implementing in our One Small Town initiative. So I see we've been going for about 46 minutes. That's great. So I'm going to try and keep this to about 1 hour, this first episode, so we don't get people, I don't become boring and start repeating myself, which I can do very quickly and very easily, because I get so caught up in this thing because I'm so passionate and so excited about it. So I've explained now that intentional communities don't work. So what One Small Town has done, we've learned about all the failures of intentional communities, and we've worked that into the One Small Town model so that we learn what not to do. And in essence, all these years, everything that we've done with One Small Town has been a training exercise, a rehearsal for what we're doing today and to where we are today, and why we're now ready to do podcasts, to invite everybody in any country, in any town, anywhere in the world, to join One Small Town and launch One Small Town in your community. Everyone, everywhere, please pay attention, is invited right now to go onto the One Small Town website, sign up as a member, and then take it from there. I'm going to talk you through the points, what you need to do, and make sure that you understand fully of what is expected of people that want to get involved, how they can get involved, and what they can expect they should do. So we're now ready. It's taken many, many years to get to this point, and we learned what not to do. As I said, this has been a rehearsal and a training exercise. And one of the key things that we've learned is that without structure, without management, without structure, without accountability, without profit, without generating a profit, without having funds to do things, this is not going to work. And in fact, this is one of the reasons that intentional communities, most of them, fail. Virtually 99.9%, 99% of them have failed, because they all started with just great intent, great feeling in the heart. We're going to do this together. I often refer to as the hippie colonies and so forth, and I love hippies. I have many hippie friends, but hippies are very good at doing certain things. They're not good at running businesses, and they're not good at project management, and they're not good at making sure that things get done and delivered on time. They're good at other things, and we need to use our members where they're good. We're not doing DEI in One Small Town. We're doing, okay, let's be very, very clear about this. We are using people where they are best. We're using experts, the best experts in the field that they are experts in, so that they deliver the best results, right? So if you want to start a bakery in your community, you're not going to appoint an engineer to come and bake your bread, or you're not going to appoint somebody because they're a certain skin color to come and bake your bread. You're going to find the best baker in your community to come and bake your bread. And if you appoint the wrong person to run your bakery, let me tell you right now that all the rest of the members in your community are going to be pretty pissed off with you because you've appointed the wrong person. So this actually just reminded me that the One Small Town initiative actually has a built-in mechanism. I haven't used it for so long because I've been doing these motivational lectures and workshops for so many years. I've forgotten some of the key phrases that I've been using, and this is one of my favorite key phrases, that the One Small Town has a self-correcting system built into its own mechanism. A self-correcting system, that whatever problem we face, whatever mistakes we make, the solutions and the problems will be solved by the community itself. The solutions will come from within the community. We don't even have to look for the solutions. It solves its own problems. And that's, for me, always one of the most exciting and most beautiful things that I remember when I experienced that the first time. If somebody throws a question at you, what about this? How are we going to solve this problem? How are we going to do that? Just put that question within the One Small Town environment, in the community, where you as a One Small Town members are trying to find a solution, and you'll see how quickly you find a solution for that problem. Okay, so we've gone past the intentional communities now. We're dealing with what we're doing now. So as I mentioned, we are ready to start one small town in every country, in any town, anywhere in the world. And why can I say that? Is because we have spent the last 3 years building the foundation, building the systems, and building the structure which will make this possible and is making this possible. And unless you have structure, and as I said, unless you have structure and control and feedback and management and project management and delivery and control systems and accounting systems and warehouse management systems and distribution systems and analysis of your success and so forth, all the things that you need for running a successful business and doing things professionally and delivering on time, ordering right materials, making sure that the correct ingredients go into whatever it is you're making, all these things. If you're just doing these things haphazardly because you've decided to come together, live on a piece of land and grow some food, that's not going to solve your problems. It's just going to actually increase your problems because you might have to find another place to live, or in many cases, like I said, I'm laughing because it's actually very sad. Some of my very close friends lost their farms, lost their livelihood, lost everything because they believed in their heart that by starting an intentional community and letting people come there and build a house or build a barn or whatever and come live together and start working together, they believed it was going to solve their problems, that they're going to create a solution for the future. Well, One Small Town is using all that experience, and we've created what we call the One Small Town platform. The platform is like our private blockchain. It is not an open source blockchain for anyone from outside to come and mess with it and add to it and so forth, because that just creates a potential for sabotage. So we have to keep it private, and this is a sensitive issue. A lot of critics of One Small Town will say, well, why is it private? Why aren't you making it open source and all that kind of stuff? Because there will be those who will come undermine us, they'll infiltrate us, they'll bug it, they'll try and destroy it. So we have to make it a private platform that we manage privately. Ultimately, the success for One Small Town membership, the success of our membership tokens, the infinity tokens, the way that our members can exchange the tokens. Remember, I'll speak in a lot more detail about the tokens because they are an incredibly powerful tool. If you think Bitcoin is powerful, wait till you see and understand what the infinity token is and why it was launched, how it works. You'll understand that it's infinitely more powerful than Bitcoin will ever be. But I digress. I'll talk separately about our tokens, our infinity tokens, our investor tokens, and all the different investor tokens for all the different businesses that we'll be launching in your towns, wherever your town is, whatever business you want to start. What we have is a private membership platform, and that gives us the protection. So One Small Town is a private membership initiative. And because it's a private membership initiative, it gives us the freedom to do things that private membership associations can do. Think about all the secret societies, the secret organizations in the world that have been doing all kinds of things. And many of them have been doing terrible things behind our backs, in secret, doing all kinds of things in secret because they're a private organization, they're a private association, and that gives them protection. So, one of my favorite slogans for One Small Town is that we use the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. Now, please think very carefully about what that statement means. We use the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. And the number one tool of enslavement is money. Unquestionably, it is money. We're going to talk in much more detail about money. And we take everything that our governments have thrown at us, everything that our corporations have thrown at us, everything the legal and the justice system has thrown at us, all the red tape, all the bureaucracy, all the hurdles that have been thrown in our way. that make it more and more difficult for us to survive, to do this, to do that. Think about how difficult the governments are making it for farmers to grow food. It's evil. It is so evil. I've just realized that right in the beginning of this podcast, I spoke about various reasons why I started the One Small Town initiative. And I think the most important one is a spiritual reason. And I just got a loud and clear message and a download to share that with you. To say this is driven by something much more than just, we got to find a solution. We got to find a different way. This is a calling. This is a spiritual feeling. This is something that is of a nature that is inexplicable to those that have never had a calling. And I forgot to mention that right up front, so I'm going to mention it right now. So as I said, I'm going to digress and go off topic and come back if I remember what topic I was on, because it's such a wide topic. So this is definitely, the One Small Town initiative is not just a movement of unity, of cooperation, of collaboration to create a new alternative for the world, of prosperity and abundance for everybody that participates. No one is ever excluded. Everyone is invited to join. But it is a voluntary membership. It is a private membership, and everyone is invited to join, but you have to volunteer. You have to come and join of your own free will. No one is ever forced. So when you launch One Small Town initiative in your town and in your community, no one is ever forced to join you. Those that want to join you will join you. And like I've experienced here in my little town, the joy and relief in the eyes and the faces of the people that found me, that found the movement, that started to work with me every day, and it literally grew by, between 1 to 10 people every day. More and more people would arrive. And as I mentioned earlier, I offered them nothing except a plate of food and a sense of belonging to a group of people that wanted to make a difference, that wanted to change and improve their town and their community. So the things that we've learned and the experiences that we've gained is what's making this initiative so strong. Our platform, and I think that was the track that I was on, our platform, our community, our tokens, our infinity tokens, our digital wallets. When you become a member, you automatically have your own digital wallet with your tokens that you collect as you contribute to your community. Those tokens can be shared instantly and immediately with any other One Small Town member around the world as a private membership token. Think very carefully about what I've just shared with you. If that penny hasn't dropped for you yet, then you truly need to think more about this. And I don't want to poke at people and say you should do this and you should do that. So if I sometimes make that statement, it is just from a position that I feel passionate about this, and I often feel that people don't get it, they haven't understood what we're doing. If you don't understand how powerful the One Small Town Infinity Token is, then I would suggest you think about it really, really deeply. What we've created here does not exist anywhere else in the world. We've created a means of exchange between our members. And again, I stress again, this is a private membership community token. This is not a token that's traded on open platforms, on any stock markets or stock exchanges. And that's what gives it its power. And therefore, with every new business that we start, with every new product that we launch, it is the most powerful community token available in the world today. And if you haven't figured that out yet, that's okay. There will come a time when the penny will drop for you, and you realize that we have created our own alternative means of exchange. So that if all the banks had to close their doors tomorrow and you can't get access to your money, we have a solution for that. And it's the One Small Town Infinity Token. And the moment we launch our first One Small Town stores and we start making the produce and the products, whether it's food or bicycles or fridges or laptops or clothing, whatever it is, the moment we start making that available in our One Small Town stores, and our members can come and get their stuff with their Infinity tokens without having to hold dollars or rubles or yen or pounds or euros, you'll realize how powerful the One Small Town Infinity token is, and the fact that you can use it to exchange anything for anything. The One Small Town stores are going to become true trading stores where you as a One Small Town member can trade anything you have and exchange it for anything that we have created or developed that is available to our members. That's going to attract all kinds of people to us, all kinds of people that may have not understood One Small Town in the beginning. I believe they're going to recognize how much benefit they get from simply becoming a member and participating in the One Small Town store, where all our produce and products are going to be available a lot cheaper than any other store. I'm going to let that sink in. So our platform, and I think I'm going to end on this note here on this first episode of this podcast, and then I'll share with you how we can interact and exchange ideas, how we can answer questions, how you can ask questions, where you can ask the questions, and how I will answer those questions and start creating a dialogue, although it'll be a sort of a question-answer situation. I guess we will get at some stage into a position when we have more funding to set up a proper studio. Right now I'm doing this from my house, from my library, from my workspace here. And as soon as we have enough funds to set up a proper podcast studio, we will do so. I trust that's going to be very soon. Okay, I lost my train of thought again. I guess I'm getting tired. So let's go back to the One Small Town store. The platform is there. First of all, it starts with membership. So our platform, it's a blockchain. It's a blockchain block. We can call it a blockchain because it functions like a blockchain. Very powerful, incredibly safe and secure. It is backed up in various locations around the world. So even if our main servers go down, we've got it backed up and it's up within an hour or even less if everything had to go down. So we've made sure and that we back everything up. We use our own private coders, so we don't use potential infiltrators and so forth. So it starts with membership. It starts with your Infinity tokens and your digital wallets. It starts with you applying to become an ambassador. It starts with the ambassador appointing a team of management team in your town as the ambassador. It then goes on for the ambassador and the team to upload their ideas and their 12-month plan. It goes into checking whether your business ideas are actually solid ideas or not. Because you can imagine that not everybody knows what is a good business idea or not. So we've created a system on the platform where you can upload your idea and it'll tell you if it's a bad or a shitty idea, and tell you no. So we created a way of scoring your ideas to say, yes, it's a good idea. It's potentially going to make good profits for you and your community. In which case, let's take it to the next level and create a proper business plan for that. We've created a system. The platform is a system where you, as a member and as the ambassador, can load all the different community upliftment projects, whether it's cleaning the streets, fixing the parks, mowing the lawns, helping the orphanages, as I mentioned, anything that you set up as a community upliftment project, you load that on the platform. There's the time management system. Every member of One Small Town gets a membership card with your own membership QR code, and everything we do as members is driven by that QR code on your membership card. So when you arrive to give your 3 hours a week for cleaning the park or helping the orphans, whatever it may be, you scan your card and it automatically logs you in for that specific community upliftment project. At the end of those 3 hours, or at the end of the hour, it automatically logs the time when you log out, when you scan out a QR code scanner for that specific project. When you scan out, it automatically logs the amount of time you've contributed, and by the time you've contributed 3 hours, which hopefully we'll do in 3-hour sessions, it automatically puts 1 Infinity token into your digital wallet. And this is a system that took 3 years to develop. It is such a powerful platform. We're about to launch the One Small Town Gallery. Let me come back to that very briefly. Just before I finish here today, I'll bring you up to speed with where we are with our technology, with the safety and security and the stability of the One Small Town office, just to give you peace of mind to know that very soon the One Small Town office internationally will be safe and sound and secure financially. But the platform is there. It's got everything you can imagine in it. Accounting systems, project management systems, all of it is connected. So that once you start as a community, once you start your initiative, your projects, your businesses, no one can ever undermine it. No one can ever crash it or infiltrate it. It is open to all your members in your community, in your town, can see. It's totally transparent, so every member in your town can log on and see how successful this business is, or when am I required at in the park or at the orphanage or wherever, in the bakery or at the in the dairy or in the horse breeding business or wherever it may be. The platform is an incredibly powerful tool that we've created. This is why intentional communities can't succeed. There is no structure, no management, no controls. And this is why One Small Town is such a powerful initiative right now, because of the powerful platform that we've created. It's taken huge amounts of thinking, huge amounts of coding and programming, and this is what's going to make it succeed. That is why we know it's going to succeed, because we've built the methods and the tools to make it succeed. No one can run off with your money. One of the biggest problems with investors and investing into small towns and small communities is often investors, and we know this from South Africa, I'm sure that other countries around the world have the same problems. You get some investor somewhere that says, wow, I love your idea in your town. We'll invest into a dairy. Right, here's $5 million for a dairy. We're going to start a dairy. There's a business plan, fantastic. And they invest the money, and it goes to somebody, some individual or some organization that claims they're going to launch that business on behalf of the community. And guess what happens? The money just disappears. The project and the business never gets started, and somebody just helped themselves to the money from the investors. And this has made investors incredibly skittish and nervous to invest into small towns. This is a global problem. We have just solved that problem. We have found a solution for it, where the investors can see exactly where their money goes, where the investment sits. They can check every day the project management, how that money is being used, that it's being used accurately and correctly into the right project, the right business. And they can then see, once the business starts, the monthly and the daily and the weekly success and profits and the turnover, so the investors feel safe and comfortable and confident investing into our small towns. And I'll go into a lot more detail about the system and the fundraising system that we've created through our tokenization, our private investment tokenization system that we've created, that will help every community in every small town help to fund every business that you're thinking of launching. And what I can also tell you is that as the weeks and the months go by, more and more wealthy individuals are finding One Small Town and are contacting me, showing their interest in investing into these initiatives, especially into food growing, agricultural activities, and healthcare activities. Right now, as I'm talking to you, we have some investors that have pledged over $1 billion to invest into the South African healthcare industry. You may have seen my post that I posted a few weeks ago, about 10 days ago, not even 10 days ago, that I'm urgently looking for somebody to help us put together an investment pitch for the healthcare and hospital industry in South Africa, because we have between $1 and $1.2 billion ready to be invested into hospitals and healthcare clinics in South Africa. Now we need to put together a really well-prepared pitch, high-level executive pitch to pitch to these investors, and they're also interested in investing into food growing and the farmers in South Africa, especially the small farmers that are struggling to survive. So I'll be talking more about that, but please follow the posts on Telegram, on the Telegram channel, on Facebook, and then also obviously on our website. So I use mostly Telegram. I start on Telegram, then I transfer it onto Facebook, then I put it onto LinkedIn, and then we put it onto our website as well. If you need to email me, my email is michael@onesmalltown.org. It's very simple. Don't email me with nonsense and crap. Don't waste my time, please, because I have hundreds of emails to read every day. If you email me with ideas and thoughts, get to the point, 2 or 3 lines. I want to talk to you about this, and that, or have a solution for this, and that, or etc., etc. Keep it short to the point. Then we can talk and we can engage and so forth. So what I want to tell you is that we're ready. One Small Town office here in South Africa, and our incredible ambassadors in the UK, our amazing new ambassador in the USA, Michelle, and our members and ambassadors in India. India is just proving to be it's going to be huge in India. You can just imagine when One Small Town launches in India. Oh my God, it's going to go crazy. I do believe, however, though, that the USA is going to be the area that's going to explode. South Africa is going to have a similar effect, but because of the nature and the kind of thinking in the USA, it's probably going to explode in the USA quicker than anywhere else, which is great. We're going to lead by example. And now that we've got a new government coming in the USA, that I believe is with Elon Musk getting rid of all the bureaucratic red tape and easing business, making it easier for people to do business in the USA, I think is going to help us a great deal in the USA with One Small Town and launching that, and also helping to fund some of the many businesses that the people in the small towns are going to want to launch in the USA. This is going to be very exciting. Just let your mind run wild, right? Let your mind run wild. Let's imagine this fairy tale with me for a few seconds here. Imagine 50 countries that have started, or 100 countries that have started One Small Town. And in those 100 countries, we have 100 towns. That gives us 10,000 towns. 10,000 towns. And in each town, we have 100 businesses. Can you see how this thing snowballs? Each business is a potential distributor, has a potential product for all the other small towns around the world. So very quickly, in the next 2 to 3 years, we can create a global network of thousands and thousands of towns, all connected to each other, using infinity tokens. You can use international currency as well, but the option is always there to use infinity tokens if you're trading and dealing with each other. And every town within the One Small Town initiative becomes a distribution network and a distribution point. And consumers of produce and products and technology that are created in the other small towns around the world. Plus everyone else out there that is not necessarily part of One Small Town. So hopefully the idea is slowly but surely, boiling, or what's the word I'm using? Fermenting and distilling into a clear picture, and realizing what a powerful thing we have created here. We are ready to launch One Small Town everywhere and anywhere. It is up to you in your individual towns to launch it. I can't launch it for you. And this is really going to be my parting words with you here today, is don't email me and ask me, wow, I love what you're doing. And I get hundreds of these emails. I love what you're doing. How can I get involved? Okay. Well, the most important thing to do is to get involved. Go online and sign up as a member. Become a member. First thing you should do is become a member of One Small Town. That's the first thing that everyone should do. And then go and buy a bunch of Infinity tokens, as many as you can afford, so that you have them in your digital wallet. And you can start trading and using them the way we used Bitcoin when Bitcoin first was launched. Think about the excitement. When Bitcoin was launched, I will never forget it. I was one of the naive people that thought that Bitcoin was going to be launched to help us get away from fiat currencies. Well, how wrong was I? So, once more, the Infinity token is, in essence, the new replacement and is doing what Bitcoin failed to deliver, what Bitcoin failed to give us, that alternative means of exchange. And it is a lot easier. You can never lose your Infinity tokens. They can never get devalued. They can never get crashed because it's a private membership token. No one can ever come and crash the value of the tokens, or in any way whatsoever, because it is our members that control it. It is our 3 hours of sweat equity, 3 hours of contribution that we each contribute as a member, a minimum 3 hours per week, that gives the Infinity token its value, and that value keeps growing. I will talk more about the tokens in the next episode, because it's a big deal and it's important that people need to realize that they can start using it. My suggestion to you is sign up as a member, then log into your membership account as a member, and you'll see you have all these different options. Then you click on My Wallet, you go to My Wallet, you click on Buy Tokens, and buy yourself as many Infinity tokens as you can afford. And then start experimenting, use them, share them with other people, trade, exchange, get used to using them the way that we started to use and learn how to use Bitcoin in the beginning. It'll take no time. And you can never lose them. I was one of those. I bought some Bitcoins, and I was given some Bitcoins because I started accepting Bitcoins many, many years ago. I think I accumulated about 3 Bitcoins, and then I lost it. I lost my wallet. I lost 3 Bitcoins. Gone. That can never happen to you with your Infinity token, right? So finally, I just want to say, don't email me. Go onto the website. Sign up as a member, read the entire website, watch all the videos, and the next most important step in One Small Town is this. We need to find the right people with the right mindset, with the right mentality, and the right character to become ambassadors for One Small Town, the town that you're in. So before we can launch One Small Town anyway, we have to find the right ambassador. Without an ambassador, we can't, you can't launch One Small Town. I can't launch it for you. You have to launch it yourself, right? Really important. So first we need an ambassador that needs to sign up as an ambassador. And that ambassador then needs to put together a support team with a business planner, a project manager, probably an agriculture expert, an IT expert, someone to help with admin and PR and so forth. So normally a team of about 5 or 6 people together with the ambassador. And that team then puts together a 12-month plan, or a 12 to 24-month plan. And I know I said I was going to end on the previous note, but this is really the most important thing, so that you know where we are. Without the 12-month plan, we cannot launch One Small Town. And that was one of the hardest and most difficult lessons, and the most expensive lessons we've learned. By simply appointing someone to become an ambassador, that was a mistake. Because there's so many people with good hearts, so many people that want to help, they want to be involved. They say, yes, I'll be your ambassador, I want to be your ambassador. But they've never run a business. They don't know how to manage anything. They're beautiful souls and beautiful people. They want the best, but they're not the kind of person that can help run and manage the launch of One Small Town, which in essence is like you are the CEO of a company that keeps growing, that keeps getting more and more departments. So you as the ambassador have to manage more and more businesses that are going to be launching under you as the ambassador. Every business that launches in your One Small Town is a new department in your One Small Town. And so the role of the ambassador is literally like a CEO or a general manager that has got experience in running, reasonably big businesses that have got many departments, and managing people, making sure they know how to manage people to get the best out of the people, to deliver on what they're supposed to do. because we're not messing around. This is not a bunch of hippies getting together on a piece of land growing some food. This is very serious. We're starting hundreds and thousands of businesses across hundreds and thousands of small towns, and we need to manage them. The platform is a management tool that will allow you to do this successfully without anyone running away with your money, with the money being allocated and distributed equitably every month, at the end of every month, so all the profits go to the correct people and the rightful people, to the members, so you keep your members happy. And all the members can see exactly how much is due to them and that they receive the right amount. So complete transparency all the way, every step of the way. Remember, our motto is, if it's not good for everyone, it's no good at all. You'll see it in our logo. The One Small Town Initiative. If it's not good for everyone, it's no good at all. So the platform is ready. We're ready. We just need now for the people that have what it takes to be an ambassador in your town, go online, sign up to be a member, and then sign up to become an ambassador. Go through the process, fill in all the forms that are required. We have made it quite a process to find the right kind of people so that we don't make the mistakes of the past just by appointing an ambassador because they're wonderful souls and they want to help. That doesn't mean they have what it takes. So we've changed the entire way of appointing ambassadors, and that has suddenly brought a whole new caliber and a whole new quality of person to apply for being an ambassador. And that, I must tell you, is the most exciting thing that has happened. And I think on that note, we've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk about. It's taken a lot longer than I thought. I'm very excited to have launched this One Small Town podcast. Thank you for everyone that has logged in, that has been watching. I see the numbers have been fluctuating to well over 100 between Facebook and YouTube. It's been great. Tell your friends, sign up as a member if you're not a member yet. Buy as many Infinity tokens as you can. Start practicing sending the tokens to your friends. If you have what it takes, if you think you have what it takes to become an ambassador in your town and launch One Small Town in your town, then go online, sign up as a member, and then apply to be an ambassador. And we'll take it from there. I can't wait to see how this explodes. I believe that we're entering a whole new era. What happened in the USA is a great omen, I believe. At least we've averted World War III. I must admit I breathed a huge sigh of relief when I woke up this morning in South Africa. I believe it's gonna have a positive effect around the world. And what I can tell you, what I hinted earlier, that we are reaching a stage with the One Small Town Initiative, the head office. We are in the final stages of developing certain technology that we're about to launch. And that technology is going to be utilized to generate funds for the One Small Town office and help fund the One Small Town initiatives around the world. It is a spectacular new technology that belongs to us, belongs to the One Small Town head office and the inventors that invented it and created it. So it has taken us a lot longer to develop than we imagined, like all new technology does. But literally, as I'm talking to you, this particular technology is starting to run, and it's giving us exactly what we believed and hoped it would give us. In fact, it has surprised us and is giving us a lot more than we expected. That, I believe, is going to be the foundational funding tool and funding mechanism in every country, so that we have enough funds for the One Small Town head office, the One Small Town ambassadors, and each One Small Town office when it launches. So what I'm saying to you is that in the next few months, and especially the next year, the head office of One Small Town will be in a position financially to help fund the ambassador and some of their cornerstone projects when they launch One Small Town in your community. I hope you understand what that means. That means that we will no longer be dependent on people being self-employed and have to make ends meet, and hope to launch and start generating some income from the businesses that we launch, that is a long-term solution. We'll be in a position where we can actually launch One Small Town a lot quicker in many towns, and as our technology grows and expands, we'll be able to fund more and more of these towns by providing funding for the launch and the projects in those towns through the ambassador and the ambassador's office. And that is why we have now taken a far more stringent appointment of our ambassadors. Really, we have to take them through quite a process to make sure that they're the right profile, the right person to take on this responsibility. We're not messing around. This is a very serious thing we're doing. We're saving the world, and we're changing the world, and One Small Town is changing the world. I think on that note, I've exhausted my voice for today. I'm going to leave it there, and I hope that this has given you some joy, some hope, some excitement. I'm more excited than I have been in months and in years. As I speak to you, our technology is being assembled and launched in the factory, and I tell you, it is an extremely exciting moment in the evolution of the One Small Town initiative. I forgot one final thing, and I'll deal with this again next week. We're about to launch the One Small Town Art Gallery, the online virtual art gallery. The One Small Town galleries around the world and the virtual online gallery is going to change the world art is sold, where artists earn royalties on all future sales of their art. This is going to change the way art is sold and the way artists sell their art. Once again, this coding and the programming for this online gallery, whether it's a physical gallery or an online gallery, it all ends up going through, via the physical gallery to the ultimately online gallery, where people around the world get to see the art and bid on the art and buy the art. This is going to change the way art is sold around the world. It's taken a lot longer than I imagined, and a lot more testing, but it is now in the final days of testing, and I believe that we're going to go live on the 18th of November internally with artists that choose to join us and upload their artwork onto the virtual art gallery and go through the launch process with us and be part of that very exciting launch phase while we iron out the gremlins, while we make sure that the sales work and that the back end works, that the distribution, the packaging and the shipping works and all that kind of stuff, the receiving on the funds, the distribution of the funds to the artists and so forth. And then if all goes well, we will then officially launch the online One Small Town online art gallery, the virtual art gallery, on the 2nd of December 2024. So you can see this is going to be 2025 is going to be a historic year for the world, and where One Small Town really kicks in and starts to deliver on the promise that One Small Town is changing the world. Okay, my voice is gone now. Thank you for being here. Sending you lots of love, and keep the faith. We're doing things that have never been done before, and we're doing this together. We have love for each other. This is a movement of unity and love and gratitude and compassion and inclusiveness. And this is why this cannot be done on a political arena. This can only be done in an initiative like this, a private membership initiative, private membership association, where we work for each other, with each other, for the benefit of everyone in our initiative and in our communities. All right, until next weekend, this is Michael Tellinger. Bye for now.